Yo, welcome back to another one of my video. So it's been a while. I have been busy designing this farm and also with IL stuff and building this in survival. But anyways, let's get down to it. So this farm is 1728 piglin bartering farm. So they are basically a soaker box of piglin inside here. And the rate it produced is 5.6 million item power. This is everything that's collected. So it doesn't collect anything like a fire charge or the unstackable. Everything else is collected, including the special arrow. Yes, and the farm overall running on my system, which is this, is running at 30 mspt when I fully AFK, where I let my laptop just rest and kind of like optimize the CPU usage and dynamic FPS. So with auto sync, it is running at 30 mspt, which is pretty good for this amount of piglin. And obviously, to reach this kind of lag optimization, there were few tech that involved inside this farm. Specifically, there are one that's kind of like discovered by myself, but it's already well known before. I believe within Discord, but it's not really well known outside of it. And one tag that I come across by scrolling Discord, and I will get into both of them. So first of all, let's get onto the first optimization that I did. There's a lot of piglin, so right now I'm disabling the entity rendering, but you can see like there are a bunch of piglin inside here. You can see the mspt is 40 mspt with all this piglin. Now if I move to over here, don't know why this spike up there, but if I move over here, it's gonna go to like 50 or 70 mspt, right? And what is the reason for this? And obviously, like, the two design is similar, everything is similar except for the piglin. So if I do the command real quick, this one. So this thing have a attribute like have the follow range of 16, which is the base value or the average value. But over here, if I do the same command, all the piglin inside here is slightly less than 15 follow range. And with a follow range value that is less than 15, it will not be able to detect any piglin from other cells. So the cell in the middle here, it will not detect any other cell beside its own piglin. But unlike that, over here, all the piglin in this side will look at all the adjacent side. Like it will see that lines, that cell, this cell, over the up and down one as well. And same for basically all the other cell. And when they see each other, when they see all the piglin, or they see all the entity in general, they will write that entity inside their memory. And when they write into memory like that, it causes a lot of causes a lot of computational power. And that's where the MSPT coming from. So one way to solve this issue, one very easy way to solve this issue, is by just simply moving this value, moving the cell further away. Just putting further away, then therefore they would not detect all the entity, therefore will not be laggy at all. It will be the same lag value as this one. The issue with that is the portal linking. So the port from here to here is 17 block. Of course, over here to here as well is also 17 block. So basically as far as possible. Why am I saying as far as possible? Because it's putting the item inside a portal. And in the overworld, if I can find my thing, give it some time to load. So in the overworld, even with this kind of like layout, I already have to use at least 2x2 portal to link all the portal together. So if it's say like if I move it one block further, I have to move it over by 8 blocks this way. If I move it one block further, I have to move it 16 blocks, so it has to be somewhere around here, which make it really ugly and annoying to look at, and also like the item lifetime would be a lot higher and more laggy as well. So overall, like if I want to move the cell further away, I would have to come up with another kind of like overworld loading and sorting system, which is not what I want. It's ugly, and quite frankly, it's just kind of not as cool as this one, in my opinion. So that is why I want to have the follow range of low value, or like specifically less than 15. And so how would I get a follow range of less than 15, right? So the follow range is used to detect entity, and let's say it could also use to detect a wither skeleton. So over there, I have a wither skeleton. His name is Bug. because that's what I have in the hotbar. So if I spawn in a piglin of 14.9 of 14.96 value, it is I multiply by 1,000 by 100 to see the decimal. But yeah, this thing is 14.96. So this one don't see the wither skeleton. The wither skeleton see it because it have higher detection and follow range, like this one particular. So let me kill this one and spawn the next one in. This one immediately detect that, as you can see, and the value for it is 15, so just slightly above the other one, but now it detect that. And so by using this kind of behavior, this kind of mechanic, I just basically mock up the entire sorting system, automatic sorting system for all the piglin. So when, as you can see, you can probably already guess how it works, but if you see a piglin, obviously it would just gonna go over there and fall down to the void. And now let's say it doesn't see a piglin, and in this case I'm just gonna put a class block here. Of course it's gonna be a baby. Let's just ignore that one and that one. Now this one, it doesn't see the wither skeleton, so after some time it's just gonna pathfind toward this sand tower. Okay, so that is the basic gist of it. So why do I need this iron block? If you recall, like 30 seconds ago, you see a baby piglin immediately just walk off the edge when I spawn it in, and that basically could happen as well when I spawn in a few piglin here. Maybe like that one right there. I just spawn in, it moved toward the sand block. If that happened, it will move toward the sand area and not see the wither skeleton, and therefore it could be a bad piglin that got sorted. So that's why I need to have some delay here with this iron block. The lamp is to basically prevent any other mob from turning on before the single module reset. Okay, so yeah, that is the basic sorting mechanism. I will get into the entire distribution system later on, but now I want to get to the order optimization tag, which is a lot more important and a lot more significant. Oh god, the lag. Okay, so let's just wait a little bit for the mspt to drop down to a stable value. And look like for this one it's gonna be around 40 something. Well, let's just quickly replace all this. First of all, the blue stained glass first. Right. Let's replace blue stained glass with a soul torch or any soul item, but ideally a soul torch or like a soul campfire. Right. The soul torch is gonna be the best in my opinion, or soul lantern also. Now you can see immediately the mspt dropped down to like 30. Why is that? Now, also this one is not discovered by me, like the previous tag with the follow range. It was discovered by me, but someone else already know it beforehand. But now this one is completely discovered by someone else, and I stumbled across it on Discord. So the reason why it's behaving like this, my guess is that the piglin, even by standing there doing nothing, is still performing AI and doing tasks like pathfinding, checking stuff. But if it's being scared, then it just doesn't see each other. It just doesn't do any other kind of AI goal. It's being scared. And so that reduced the lag significantly. Well, let's quickly undo that. Now we're gonna do the same thing, but with the black stained glass instead. Now you can see the MSP gonna rise up significantly. Pretty high. The reason for that, my guess, is that because the soul torch is now close enough to the piglin, so that it want to run away. And because it want to run away, it's trying to perform pathfinding. It's trying to check for block around it in order to move away. And this causes the lag that you just see. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when the farm is running, for whatever reason, having the soul torch in the black glass area would like improve the red by around 2 mspt at least in my setup, comparing to have it in the blue glass area. And I don't really know how this is the case, but yeah, that is the case. So like if you want to have the best performance while the farm is running, have it right next to the piglin. But if you want to have a balanced level of lag and you can go to the area without killing your own PC, then have it in the blue area. But yeah, that is the two main optimization that I did for like the two most significant optimization, and that enable the entire layout here. Okay, so now let's get right onto the cell design, which you already noticed by now, which is using a dragon egg and a portal right above it. So now this farm is meant to be for uplift suppression because it also uses water in the nether there. Of course, like you can do it without uplift suppression, but I will explain quickly why this is the best in my opinion. So obviously, with the portal right in this layer, like in this layer instead of one block above it, is that like the item have less lifetime, and the item also travel through less solid block. Let's say if it's inside a solid block, then I have to perform calculation to where it can jump, like to how to apply the momentum and how to carry out that momentum. But if it is just a portal already, it will skip out one block of lifetime and one block of calculation, and that reduces the lag by however much I don't know. So the goal is this: the goal is to achieve a layout where the piglin don't die, where there's a transparent block inside the head, so the item pop up, and there's a portal block right above it. And this could only be achieved with an egg. So what I did basically here is like I update suppress the portal first, then put the piglin in with the scaffolding. Then I went to the overworld and I dropped the egg inside the portal. And on the nether side, I have an uplift suppression that's connected to like a sound suppression in this case. And yeah, when the egg land into that spot, it will be uplift suppressed and not break the portal. When this guy says it's gonna stay there. And yeah, I can just put the class back in, remove the uplift suppression, and here is the setup that I have. And this is the only way where I can figure out how to have something like this. If you now technically having the portal inside the piglin head on the same level the piglin head would be the best scenario, and it is doable, but it is extremely difficult because what you have to do is you have to bring the piglin into the overworld, which would give it a cooldown, a portal cooldown, and then you bring a minecart and take the piglin back to the overworld on the minecart so that like it can skip out the portal cooldown on the piglin, but still have that portal cooldown, and within that 15 seconds of cooldown, you put it inside the portal cell. And this combined of, and there's another caveat to it as well. As you can see here, the piglin, all the piglin inside here is centered onto this block, which is useful for something else. But like combining what I just said with the fact that you have to put it in the center, make it extremely difficult and infeasible in my opinion. So this is a fair compromise. This thing is still doable because I already did it. Okay, so now I just mentioned something like the piglin has to be in the center spot. The reason for that is if the item enter the portal here in the center, which I try to be as close to the center as possible. So if it entered in the center of the portal, then it would exit in the center of this 3x1 portal and be in the center of this water stream, and will be in the center of this ice pathway and be picked up by the two minecart up and down, which make it nice. Just at the end, it's just make it nice. If you don't care about that, then obviously you can just expand the water stream, then align it later on, whatever. But the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because it's not very simple to put them in the center. And I will demonstrate it real quick over here. So normally, if you just dismount a piglin or like any entity, whoops, then it will be in the center, right? Like that is what we I think we mostly knew. Like that, perfectly in the center. Then an issue arises when the piglin have a pathfinding target. In this case, like any solid block that block light. So if I just summon a piglin down here, now this piglin is seeing this diamond block, and even though it escaped for a while, like there's this entire pathway where there's no diamond block, it's still seen that diamond block before. It could see it before it got picked up. It could see it during it pick up. And what you're gonna see now is if we are unlucky, this mark in the center, right? Then it start moving toward that cube over there. It start moving toward its target and be uncentered. But right here, it doesn't have any other target nearby. The slam block doesn't count because even though it's a solid block, it block light. It doesn't block light, so therefore it's not count as a target. So right now here it doesn't have a target anymore, so you can pick it up by my minecart and dismount it somewhere else. And that is exactly what I have in my farm layout, which is this thing. The piglin go from that cell over there, over this location with all the sand and the solid block around it. It will go up here, and the pathfinder will stop over here, and there will be no more target, and then it will move to its cell. One thing you have to be careful though is that, like, if you see a player, if you see another entity or another piglin, then that could become another target, right? So you don't want to be around here when the sorting is running, the distribution is running. And talking about the distribution, how do I distribute all the piglin perfectly, 64 of them inside each of this cell? It's just some simple redstone and counter. So each layer, it distributes layer by layer, row by row, like this row, then this row, and then that row, and then cell by cell. So this cell first, then that cell, then that cell. So the order is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the next layer, and repeat until the last layer. So all I did is just some simple counter, and the counter here is basically working by, if the minecart is on this rail, it would power the torch, turning it off. But before the torch turn off, it would power the hopper here. And when the minecart move away from the detector rail, then you will see this what's it called? This does get unpowered, and so the hopper here can transfer one item, and then 2 tick later, 2 tick later, the torch will turn on and lock the hopper again. And so inside here, there is nine stack of item in total. So 9 cell, 9 stack of item. In this row, there's 3 cell, so it's 3 stack of item. And in each cell, there is 64, so that's 1 stack of item. And over here as well, 1 stack of item. The last one is basically doesn't need to because it gets controlled by the first counter over here. So what this means is that it's very easy to fix up a mistake. So let's say the piglin here is uncentered, because even though I have that entire thing there to stop the pathfinding, it can still mess up here and there. And if the piglin see you, right, it can be messed up. So what you would want to do is you punch the piglin, you punch the messed up piglin, and then kill it and get this cow pumpkin back. And then you can just quickly go inside here and configuring some counter. So you say, like, let's say 1 piglin inside here, or maybe 2 piglin inside here. You leave 2 counter, leave the rest in here. Over here, just simply as well give back 2. And over here, you would want to basically skip the entire row, right? So that means all this thing has been moved over. In the top here, likewise, all this 9 cell have been skipped over, has to be skipped over. So you just move all the 9 stack of item into the chest. Yeah, that. And so now when the next minecart come in, it would go down here and go down to this line and first follow along until this line's go in here. Yeah, you have to skip this one as well. And what the hell? Hold up. Oh yeah, no, never mind. Yeah, this is correct, because like if there's a piglin, right, and if we're gonna keep moving forward, and if there's no piglin, it will be chopped off. So you're just gonna keep moving forward until this on here and put 2 piglin inside here. And the 2 can actually also be controlled by how many pumpkins you put inside this dispenser as well. Because when the piglin get dropped off over here, so inside is a little boat with a baby piglin inside. So when the piglin get dropped inside here, if it have a cow pumpkin, it will not be despawned. If it doesn't have a cow pumpkin, if it's a baby or some piglin with a helmet, then it will be immediately despawned because the AFK player is way over there. There's just gonna be a minecart that's always constantly sitting here, moving back and forth. And when the minecart is moving far enough, it will dispense the next minecart. And yeah. Okay, so that is basically the piglin distribution. One thing as well you notice is, like, right now I'm in the void perimeter. Of course, you don't need to build this entire thing in the void perimeter. I would recommend you to build this thing in the perimeter, but you don't have to void them. But voiding them does help a lot with how long you have to AFK to get all the piglin inside. Because this thing is as low as possible. You can change the design here and there to make it better. But In any case, like having it as low as possible is still better and reduce the AFK time. But of course, you can just also raise this thing up a little bit to get away from the bedrock, because the bedrock is also a pathfind target, right? So you want to get away from the bedrock. You have to raise this thing up quite high, and then you just use like 4 damage or with a rose to kill the piglin. Yeah, I would recommend you just like break bedrock. It's not that much effort. Um, this one over here doesn't need to break bedrock. I'm not sure about 5 layer, but if you already have 1 layer or you avoid, then it was just gonna be better. It also doesn't take that much effort to break a 5x5 hole in this one, and a little bit more over there. Okay, so now to the gold distribution system. Now obviously, you can see that I'm using water and nether, mainly because this thing is already an upgrade suppression farm because of this pot here. So I might as well use water. But if you don't want to use water, or you don't have like let's say you don't have upgrade suppression first of all, right? Then you could use upgrade skipping. In that case, you would have to put a portal a bit higher, up here probably, and use upgrade skipping to get the 1 block portal with the obsidian in here. But anyways, if you don't have water, then or you don't want to use water, then you can use float alignment to basically achieving the same kind of circuit, but you still have to rewire something. So in case you don't know what is float alignment, it is when so you can basically this is what float alignment can do. This boat is specifically aligned so that when the item align against it, it can be quite interesting. So you can see it doesn't collide with this block at all, but it does receive the effect from it. And it can also be picked up by Hopper, for example, as well. And to have the thing float aligned, all you have to do is have a minecart like this, break the rail, zero ticket, put the rail back so it doesn't move, and then you can just push a boat toward it. Like that, and now break the minecart. So now if I throw this against the boat here, the hopper can pick it up, and also the slam block can apply the effect. So what you can do is just basically have the pressure plate along the line here. So when the item come over, this piston is gonna extend and keep pushing it forward. Alright. So that is the substitute in case you want to redo the distribution system here. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the timing of the soccer box dispenser and the gold stack separation and stuff. So the piglin can barter once every 6 seconds, and I want to dispense every single time this thing dispense, I wanted to dispense 3 soccer box, so that it can be evenly distributed toward 3 lines, right? So 1 soccer box every 6 seconds, meaning 3 soccer box every 18 seconds. So every 18 seconds, this thing dispenses 3 soccer box, and it will be moved over by some redstone and just using water stream and go over this hopper. And yeah, just some extra redstone to automatically dispense and yeet the box. The item then fall down here into a stack separation. So with the normal stack separation like this, with using a singular pressure plate, the fastest you can be is 12 tick. So 1 stack every 12 tick, which is 1 stack every 12 tick. Then you have to multiply by 20 tick per second, and then multiply by 6 seconds per 6 seconds per trading operation. And what you have is this value, basically 10 stack. But what we need is 9 stack of gold per 6 seconds, because there are 9 cells per slice here. So basically every 6 seconds, I have the clock over here. This clock is by I have falling clock, just yoink it from his channel. And every 6 seconds, this thing would be open and not let the item go through. And in every other interval, the item just go through, and this would be just perfectly distributing the gold. And I saw the nether side running later, hopefully. But there's the nether side. There's the redstone for nether side. There's a gold distribution system, and the pigling. Also, yeah, one thing with this with a skeleton is that like this thing here also need to be perfectly centered. And you can also do the same trick at that one up there, but simpler because you don't have to do it automatically. You can just manually, if it is on the line, you can just manually go in there, put a minecart running over, and just put it back. If it's aligned, then it's good. If not, then do it again. But yeah, right now, this one will not chase me, even though I'm in survival right now, because it cannot move outside here. So it's just gonna be stupid. And make sure this piglin do not see you. Like you would need, I need to enclose it, the entire thing, specifically. Like this block here must be there so that it think it cannot move outside. Because if you don't have this block there and you and the piglin see you, it can try to climb up. So yeah, have the set like this. Everything else down here, all this thing is for the redstone, the distribution only. And after you have everything in place, you can remove them. This thing is meant to be a sound suppression. So I'm not gonna go in that into detail. What is a sound suppression? Just search it up. And but basically, with this sound suppression in this 8 location, it will cover the entire farm, allowing you to drop the egg in or allowing you to make the slice portal. The gold block in here is it's just a block that I make up in one night. You don't need this block because I assume you have lithium. Because with lithium, one thing is that like hopper locking become insignificant. Lithium mod just optimize a lot of it just optimize the hopper way too much to the point where there's no point into locking it anymore. But I still decided to lock it regardless because in vanilla I would have to do so, and so I just want to do that regardless. It just feel more vanilla, more traditional. So that's why I have this thing here. But if you don't want to do this, then you can just totally just make a normal box, just make a chest silo and put all the box of gold ingot inside there. And I left the rest of the redstone and circuitry and logic like that for you to figure out. Now I want to move over to the overworld side. Okay, so the overworld, I can just show it running real quick, or at least just a sorting. So it's just gonna start with all the things sorted, like, yeah. Right now I'm having everything sorted, so all the module is running, all the module are running, and this is some code whitelister. So I'm just gonna go quickly over how code whitelister works. First of all, the code gets filled with dummy item, and then it will fill back. Yeah, it will fill the item back in backward. So yeah, it filled the first obsidian, then this box is removed, then it could put obsidian in here, then the cobblestone removed, then put obsidian in there, and so on and so forth. And the item and the cost timer, everything here is timed precisely by this observer line or whatever line this thing is called. In that case, you can pick up the most item possible. It's just in this specific configuration and using a combination of a bunch of things like pickaxe and blue eyes. Right, let's turn this thing off. But yeah, overall, that's how the sorting works. Over here, let's say I don't want to collect spectral arrow anymore. Then when I unflick this lever, so the diamond block would go down here. Some other area like this one here, the redstone is a bit tight, so I have to move the thing around and not use a normal piston like the rest. But yeah, for most of it, it's just basically disconnect the dispenser from the main line. That case, the card doesn't come out, and it would also turn on the torch on the back here, and so that torch will keep this end gate open. It will keep this end gate always to be on, and not ever unlock this loading array. So yeah, for this at least for this sorting system, I collect everything except for fire charge and the unstackable. Of course, like you can just swap out the spectral arrow with fire charge if that's what you prefer. But yeah. So let's just quickly get into the lag performance of this thing. So previously I said that like this farm is running at 30 mspt, and that still holds true. But right now we're using some other reference data. So when the farm is not running, all the piglin, let's say like when the farm is just idle with the piglin in there, it is at 24 mspt. When the farm is running with no collection in the overworld except for a player just staying there and picking up all the items. Yeah, when in that scenario the farm is at 26, 27 mspt. When the entire loading array is running and the sorter is running, everything, the farm is at 36 mspt. So you can say like the overall size is roughly 10 mspt overall. And I personally believe that is to be okay. I don't think it's very laggy. This thing is already keep the item lifetime rather low. I try to do this some other way to use less hop on my card, but in the end it's just more complicated. Maybe not more complicated, it is less easy to do the control panel for that kind of or the card whitelisting layout, and also have higher lifetime, which doesn't really help with the lag. So yeah, overall I think this is good enough. In the end, when I AFK and let my laptop rest, it's still at 30 mspt, and you already seen my system from before. Anyway, so now let's get on to the loading array. So this is the loader that I use in that array right over there, and that is what will be provided in the schematic and in the word download. This thing work is, in my from what I seeing here, I believe it to be very lag friendly because it have minimal clocking component. It's a bit loud, but that doesn't matter. So it have minimal clocking components, right? And that should be lag friendly, so it should be all good. Except the fact that there are some quality of life that could be improved with this loading that I have. So I designed this thing, and I'm thinking like I don't care about how easy or hard it is to build in survival. So that's why in this design there is one buffer box in here. Like there should be one, not three. And then there's a buffer box inside here as well. So you need to put 2 buffer box per loader. And then you also have to put another. No, not you don't have to put this one, but like this loader buffer 1 box of output, just because I don't care, right? Like this farm producing so much item anyway, I don't care about 1 box, and that's true. But it's just like a quality of life that is holding this thing back. One last thing is just simply how many items this thing use. Slam block for fail rejection, and there's obsidian, composter with an item inside it, note block, and then a skull, and then target block, and just a bunch of things. So like it is annoying to build. Not impossible, which is annoying, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Acacia Gen make basically like a superior version. It have everything. It worked the same way as my design, but it's just better. It is smaller, as you can see. It have a lot less component, easier to build, and less laggy as well, actually, because of the less clocking component. So if you're just comparing between the clock over there and the clock over here, it will be less. And with just some small adjustment, I can make it bufferless item. Instead of using a hopper line output, I just use a dropper line output here. So this is my modified version. And removing some extra observer to make it more lag friendly. So yeah, it is. I would recommend what you do is that you download the word download, and you just go in there and replacing all the loading array with this thing. But the reason why I'm not doing it is because I already did one time. I make another loader that this thing is a full speed loader. So it's using an instant comparator, right? This thing here. It's using an instant comparator to immediately replace the box within 4 game tick before the next dropper can be the next dropper can drop item. So it would always be able to clock it and not missing any item. So it's called full speed. So I thought this thing was more lag friendly, but turned out it is not more lag friendly because of this comparator here, I assuming. Because of that, this design, yeah, I swapped the entire thing out, hoping it to be better. Turned out it is not better. Yeah, so I was a bit tired, and now I don't want to do it again. But I would recommend you guys to just to go over and putting this thing in there. It would just be better. But if you don't care, then sure, go ahead, suffer for a little bit and building the inferior loading layout. But in the end, it would still work very well. But yeah, I recommend this one. It's very nice. Okay, so that is the loader and the sorter. Now to the book. So all the output box here will go inside this buffer box for a little bit. And once this thing is full, all the item in this buffer chest would go inside the box. The box use the box sorter once again by Acacia Chen. The way it works is that like it's taking an item from the box and comparing it against the hopper here. So if the item match, then the box will go inside here and just fill up the box. And right here is what I have for the item layout. So one column of string, one column of leather. This is for leather, and obsidian, crying obsidian, and the pearl, iron ingot, quartz, spectral arrow. In spectral arrow, you have a lot of spectral arrow, but then again, you don't need it that much. So that's why I only have one slice. And yeah, the rest you can just see it there. Also for the gold ingot, obviously you get gold nugget, and then you have to craft it into a gold ingot. And the crafter that I use is my own layout, is my own design. The same one that I use for my slam farm, basically. So yeah, I'm just gonna let you look into that for in the world download. Right. So over here, I use a cactus here specifically because it kills items slower. And also, if you have a lava here and a fire, it could kill the minecart or damage it. I'm not sure if it could instantly kill or not, but anyway, the cactus is better, at least for me, because the item take a bit longer to die compared to lava. It dies instantly in lava, but it takes a bit longer for cactus to kill it. And because of that, the next minecart come in can pick up the spillover. So we all know that like a hopper cart only have like 5 slots. So let's say a pack of 6 stack of blackstone go in here, right? So the minecart will not be able to pick all of it. Then the next minecart can come and pick the rest of it up. Like there are still some loss. Every now and then there's like 2 stack of 6 going next to each other, like back to back. Then still lose some item. Or that like just a pile of 10 stack of blackstone can come in, and right, it's just gonna be overflowing. And in that case, you still lose around like from anywhere from 0 to 1,000 blackstone. You also lose some glowstone, like a few hundred glowstone, at least in my testing. But it's a bit hard to test with the fact that like there's no counter for that item, right? So yeah, just approximately around those numbers. But overall, I think it still collect like 99.9%, so that's fine. Here I have the distribution system for Soaker Cell and for the log. I have 3 crafter overall, like one over there, and one over here, and one over there. And this crafter here is only responsible for the gold ingot. The reason is because I don't want an ugly hopper line or like chopper elevator, right? So I just have another crafter right here and distribute the soaker just for specifically for this gold ingot because of the different layout that it has. So I have to supply the soaker box from above, at least with this crafter, making it quite annoying to use this old hopper line. One thing as well I did with this hopper line is that like you can see at the end here, I cannot like zigzag this hopper to reduce the number of hopper that I have to use inside this farm. So that's something like I would recommend you to do as well if you were to use Acacia Chan loader. Okay, is that everything? Let me check real quick. Oh yeah, one thing as well. I will mention this one in the description and also in the video title, but this farm is only for 21.2 and above, like 1.21.2 and above, because in the version below, the piglin use a fixed value of 16 for the entity detection. So in other words, to achieve this kind of like performance with in below 1.21.2, you have to space this module out further apart. But if you space it out further apart, then obviously the overworld size is not going to be linking correctly, and it would look very ugly. And not just ugly, but you will have to basically redesign the overworld size unless you want to be like 100 mspt or something because of the item lifetime. But yeah, so that is about the version different. So this farm is for 1.21.2, but the world download is for in 21.4 because that's the version I'm playing. And yeah, and you can also see there's always chunk aligned, and all the spacing here is specific for this height. Like if you want to build the overworld and if you want to build the overworld part and the nether part to be the exact height as the world download, then this will be fine. But if you want to move them around, then just figure out your own distance and then just align all the portal up here. And the credit, I don't remember all the credit right now, so I'm sorry for that. I will put all the correct credit in the description. And anyways, so that's it for everything. I will provide a world download, the schematic inside the Discord server that I'm in, which is a quantum server. So yeah, the world download, the schematic is in there. And actually, I'll show the farm working real quick. That's one thing I almost forgot. I guess I should have sold the farm working previously, like earlier. But anyways, I was lazy. So I just quickly get some gold. So put that here, that there, and this should be fine. So the gold gonna go in here. You see that? Why doesn't it work? Whoops. Might have been bad, but anyways, you can see it's kind of quickly slow, waiting for a bit. Have to disable entity rendering. Kind of wonder if it worked here. What happened? Oh, okay. Oh, actually, this world download is not exactly the same one that in the other one as well. Whoopsie daisy. Oh, right, I forgot. My bad, sorry. Copper, no item cost you. Let's do that again. Hopefully this time it worked the way I expect it to work. Sorry for the scuffness, but yeah. Right, it dispenses 3 items this time and we will be going over. And after some time here, this thing should be oh yeah, now it's working. It's just the item coming over. Oh, the piglin picking up the gold perfectly. I cannot render the thing at all, and like now you can see that the mspt is extremely high, but this is because I'm streaming. Not streaming, but like recording. All the item right now is gonna be just piling down there because I didn't turn it on. But you already see it working, so yeah, that's basically it. I really don't care about much for the showcase, since this is rather simple. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching the video until the end. If you actually watched it until the end, see you guys in the next video, which hopefully will be soon. It will be a war update. So yeah, see you guys then.